So just as an example, this is a tunnel book made with some of the materials that you've got to hand. So it's done over multiple layers. So the first layer, I've got a frame, and then in the next layer, I've got a little figure, a little person, and then behind that, I've got trees, and then further back, I've got a house. So a tunnel book, it's basically a way of kind of showing people a story over multiple layers. So what you should have got through the post is a sheet with 4 squares on it. And then there should be another sheet which has some lined strips and a crosshatchy section as well. Has everyone got those 2 pieces?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to form the basic shape of the tunnel book. So if you want to cut out the pieces with the lines, so the 2 long strips that have lots of lines on it, is that okay? Oh, we've got someone else. Hello. Hi, Jess, just to let you know, and Irene, just to let you know that the session is recording, so it's entirely up to you whether you want your camera on or off.
Okay.
But it's up to you. What we're doing, just to start off with, I've just shown this example. So this is an example of a tunnel book. And here you can see it's over multiple layers. You can see we've got a figure at the front, then behind we've got some trees, and then behind we've got a house. What we're doing at the minute is we're just creating this zigzaggy bit on the side. So have you both got your piece of card? So there should be a piece with some lines on it.
Yes.
You got the one with lines on it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we're cutting out those 2 strips. So the 2 strips with lines on, just to start off. Okay, so you should end up with 2 pieces a bit like this. Just going to put the blind down so it's a bit easier to see. Should make the camera a bit clearer. Okay, so once you've got your 2 strips, what we're going to do is we're going to make the concertina sides. So we need to just fold them one way and then the other way, a bit like this, so that you start to form kind of a concertina shape. Hey, have we had someone else just join the meeting?
Helen's down the bottom.
Yeah, we've got Helen already. Got someone whose name is Zero. Zero is their username. Just to let you know, we are recording. So to start off with, what we've just been doing is we've been cutting some strips like this. And then we're folding them into concertinas.
Both strips, is it?
Yep, both strips, that's the one. How's everyone getting on? Is anyone finished? So they should start to look a bit like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is one completed side. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so then we just do the same with the other one. So this is to form the 3D side on our piece.
Someone's put something in the chat they can see, but they can't hear.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So does everyone know a little bit about Kirkham's heritage?
Not much. There were lots of mills here.
Yeah, so there was the mill history, yeah.
7 churches.
Where the mill was.
Yeah, so there was an awful lot of mills in the town, and they were spread out all over the place. So there were some to the north, some to the south, some more central. They were all over the place. There's been flax mills and cotton mills.
Yeah, I think Progress.
Yeah, Progress used to be a cotton mill.
Yeah.
Okay, so you should have 2 sides, a bit like this once you're finished.
Yeah,
so these will form the 2 sides of your box. That's right? It, fantastic. Yep, you've got it. Brilliant.
You get a badge.
Yeah, so Kirkham's history actually went all the way back to the Roman times. So I don't know if anyone knows about the digs in Kirkham. they actually did a dig and they found kind of Roman artifacts. And when there used to be a museum in Kirkham, they were all on display. And the shield boss.
Are they in the
What was
Harris
that?
Museum now?
So at the minute they're actually stored in the church. They're stored in the church in Kirkham. Once the museum shut, they went into it. They're in St Michael's. They went into
Right.
archive storage. But the shield boss that they found actually went down to London to go to the History Museum. So it's actually gone down there.
Right. So I think there's something in the Harris Museum in Preston.
Is there?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some stuff there from Kirkham.
Ah, there
I
could
think,
be.
yeah, I think somebody found some like old coins in a farmer's field.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, yes, they are. Yeah. My daughter lives in
that's
Roman
nice.
Way, which
Oh,
is in
brilliant.
Kirkham. That's
Yeah,
where
that's
it
not
was, is
far.
it?
Yeah, it's not far from where the fort used to be. So the fort actually was around that area. And then outside the fort, there was a vicus, like a Roman village. And then over the river, that's where they actually had the cemetery. So they found kind of some of the old urns when they were doing some excavation. And they've also found like the relics of Roman baths as well. So they found that there were Roman baths not that far from the fort too. So it was quite a thriving place back then.
Cool.
So has everyone heard a bit about the Kirkham Treasures project? Does everyone know a little bit about what we're doing?
No.
No?
Not really, no.
Okay, so Kirkham Treasures, basically what we're doing is we're trying to revitalise the high street, well, the main street through Kirkham. And what we're trying to do is kind of capture the history of Kirkham in different areas in time. So things like medieval history, the Roman history, and more recent history. So we want to capture social history as well. And we want to kind of share with the people of Kirkham and people that come to visit Kirkham that history. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a big installation within the town. We're going to have an installation, a trail through the town. And then later on, there's going to be more, there's going to be projects continuously for the next year or so, focusing on Kirkham's heritage, basically. So this is just kind of the starter project. And what we want to do is capture people's memories of Kirkham, and we want them to form part of an exhibition, really, to kind of share social history and share knowledge, because there's a lot of people in Kirkham who don't know much about the area's history, and it's such a shame, because it's got such an interesting history, the town. So that's why we're trying to really promote it.
There's the fish stones in the market square.
Yeah, so they've been around for an awfully long time. They've actually been replaced twice. They were made, the original ones were made of sandstone, so over time they just disintegrated. So they've been replaced twice, but yeah, their heritage goes back a long way to the market days where they were selling the fish. Yeah.
Yeah, what fascinates me is the number of churches in the town. There's loads, isn't there?
Yeah. Lots of churches for a reasonably small town. So.
Yeah, that's why we have the processions in June, isn't it?
When
we moved in, we came across that the next day. We couldn't believe what was happening.
Yeah, lots of people. Yeah, the big
Didn't Club Day actually start by like the workers' unions and then the churches joined in afterwards?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, you're right. So it started back in Victorian era, and yeah, it was the workers' unions first, and then the churches all got involved, and it's become kind of more church-based now, but originally it wasn't. Yeah. So it's interesting seeing photos from back at some of the original ones back in the Victorian era. There's photos online. It's brilliant. Okay, so once everyone's got their two sides, what we need to do next is cut out one of the squares for the back, or well, rectangles for the back. So it doesn't matter which one, just pick one of them, just not the one with the cross hatching, because that's for your front. And we'll just grab one of those for the back.
Why does the X square keep moving across?
She's speaking.
So has everyone lived in Kirkham for quite a while? Or have we got anyone who's new to Kirkham?
We've been here 10 years.
That's a fair time, yeah.
I think I've been here about 20 years. Yeah, I used to live in Black.
I moved to Wesham when I was 4, so I've never actually lived in Kirkham, but I live in Weston, so it's basically the same.
Close enough. Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic.
We've been here about 7 years, no, 8 years even. Yeah, 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I've been here about 8 years. 7 years.
Brilliant. Okay. So once you've got your two sides, if you find two flat ends, so there should be, you should have it so that the two concertinas kind of end with a flat bit, if that makes sense. So they should end like that rather than like this, because this is the front, this is the back. You can flip them round till they work. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Black and then glue in it.
Just so that it points inwards. The flap at the bottom should point inwards, if that makes sense, at either side. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue on that, or some tape if you've got some tape, and we'll stick our back to it like this.
Do you have any scissors?
Yeah, but I'm using them.
Can everyone see it?
I'm not sure. Is it like that?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, and then we'll do the same the other side. So a bit of glue on the inside. And then we're just sticky it on. So you should have something that looks like that at the back. So you've got the bit flaps at the back and like that from the front. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good too. Fantastic. Yeah, everyone they're all looking fantastic. Brilliant.
Like that.
Yeah, Irene, that's it. Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, so then once that's done, you can just put that to the side for a second so it can just dry a little bit, so your glue can dry. Because what we're going to do is we're going to design our 4 panels next. So you've got a big piece with 4 panels. Or you may have one of the panels on another sheet if you've only got 3 on the sheet. If you've cut one of those ones out, that's fine. They're all the same size, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so has everyone done that? Has everyone got their piece finished and got their sheet with 4 squares?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're designing our scene. Okay. Oh, someone got a late comer. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're just designing our scene. So you can see on this one, at the back, I've got landscape. So at the back, I've got some hills like this. Then in front, I've got a building. Then I've got some more details. And then at the very front, I've got a person. Okay, so I've worked from larger at the back through to smaller at the front. So what we're doing is we're designing our panels inspired by Kirkham's heritage. So it could be inspired by the mills, it could be inspired by the Roman heritage, or it could be inspired by the markets. So Kirkham has a huge market history. It used to have a moot hall where they used to trade goods. It even had a market cross at one point. And that's been used back since the medieval age. The area was also really well known for farming. So a lot of farming went on, so you could create a piece inspired by that, or show the windmills. So there was the original windmill. I don't know if anyone's seen the windmill house. It's converted.
Yes.
It's converted from the original windmill. And that windmill has an interesting history in itself. So originally it was obviously used as a windmill to grind grain and things, but then since then, during the war, it was actually used to house prisoners of war. So it's had quite an interesting history, and then eventually it got converted into a house. So there's things like that as well. Or there's the churches. So you could create a piece based on the churches, or even the high street, or your own personal memories. So there's lots of different choices of theme. I've decided to do a Victorian era piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw maybe a mill on one panel. I think I'll draw a horse-drawn carriage on another to show kind of the wealthy mill owners. Then on another, I might have the fish stones just to show kind of where it is, that it's Kirkham. And then on the other, have some of the mill workers. So what you need to do is to start off by just sketching a design onto each panel. Now your design needs to go from one side all the way to the other, because it's got to glue onto both sides, if that makes sense. So you can see, if I just take this one out, I'll just take this little person out of the front of here. You can see when I've done a person, I've put them on a long piece of floor, because the floor has to stick at one side here and at the other side to hold the thing together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if I was to draw a mill, just draw a quick mill. What I might do is do the mill and then join into a building to kind of, just to start my shape off. Here we go. So I've got kind of the mill shape and a building as well. So it goes from one side to the other. So this bit up to here will be covered. So don't do anything too close to the edges, because these will be covered by the zigzags. If that makes sense, the concertinas. So if you keep any details closer to the middle. Is everyone okay with that? If anyone needs any help, feel free to put it in the chat or just shout out and I'll happily help.
Do you think this will work? I had to go beforehand and I've done that and then that. Would it work with the houses?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd work perfectly. So the horse and cart though, you're going to need some floor. So the horse and cart one, you're going to need the floor to connect to both sides.
Okay, thank you.
If you want to start cutting it out, because that looks quite intricate, if you want to make a start on cutting it out, you can do. Feel free.
Well, I haven't done it on this card. I've done it in a book.
Ah, okay. So you can always copy it out.
I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's a good idea. If you've planned it beforehand, it'll make it so much easier.
Some ideas here.
If you've got a pencil, it's probably best to do it in pencil and then you can rub it out afterwards.
Yeah.
Yes, well.
It all comes apart.
So you can add in things like if you have got a scalpel, you can add in things like windows, which you can cut out as well. But if you've got scissors, that could be a little bit tricky. So just bear in mind what you can cut out with what equipment you've got. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go over for just to make sure that everyone who joined in a little bit later is up to date. So what we've done is we've cut the two long strips with the lines on it, and then do you see like this? And then we folded them into concertina shapes. So we've made 2 of those concertina shapes. And then we've used one of the rectangles just to stick on the back. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many did we do? 4. Cut around the map.
But they need to be on thing, don't they?
On
You
what?
can't just cut that out.
Right.
So they need to be,
Yeah, so
yeah, so you need to have a bit of background here. A bit of just a bit of grass or something all the way along. Yeah, I love that person now because that's no. Give anything.
Has everyone got some ideas?
so do we do
Yeah.
sketch as well?
I'm going to do the mill with hills behind it, and then some windows and stuff.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. What's everyone else focusing on? Is anyone doing any like personal memories, or is anyone doing any different areas of history?
I'm doing my primary school because I went to KWPS, and so that's obviously from the Victorian era.
Oh,
I'm trying to do
fantastic.
that. Trying. Not sure how successful it'll be.
I'm sure it'll be great. So just to show you where I'm up to for now, just so here where I've done the horse and cart, I've just connected everything. So it's all joined together. So there's not gaps. It just makes it all stronger when you're trying to form the piece.
All right. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So less is more with this, yeah?
Yeah, it's a silhouette. So don't worry too much about, like, if you're doing people, don't worry too much about facial details and things, because it's going to be really difficult to cut.
Yeah.
So you can see my person here is very much a silhouette, but because of the body shape, you can tell he's an elderly man, and you don't need the details. So
That's cool.
is anyone working with scalpel, or is everyone with scissors?
We've got a scalpel.
I'm using scissors.
I've got the scalpel as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I've got
so
a
if
little
you have
bit
got,
of range.
if you have got a scalpel, it'll make it easier if you want to put in intricate details. And if it's scissors, maybe go for more solid shapes and less cutouts, because they can be tricky with scissors. Not impossible, but they can be fiddly. How did everyone hear about this then?
From the church.
Ah, the church, fantastic.
How did you hear about it?
Morrison's.
Morrison.
Yeah,
Okay.
I picked up a leaflet, and then I think I went online and found some more bits. It's like a treasure
Oh.
trail, isn't it? One more
Yeah.
bits to go.
Oh, brilliant.
I think I found out about it from Facebook. I can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, we have done posts on Facebook. It's just interesting to know like how we're reaching people. We obviously want to reach as many people as possible. It's great. The more people involved, the better. How's everyone's designs coming on?
Okay.
So here's just like a rough sketch. So I've just planned it out really roughly, and I can add in more details as I go. Well, that's kind of my rough sketch design. So you can see here I've got at the back, I've got the mill. Then I've got a horse and cart. Then I've got features of Kirkham. Then I'm going to have some people right at the front. So on each panel, you just need something. You don't have to fill each panel because if they're completely full, you won't see what's behind it. So just bear in mind that you need to be able to see through to the other layers.
Scalp.
No. I'll cut square out first.
Okay, so once you have got your designs, once you've got your rough sketches, you can start off by just cutting out one of the squares. So it's easiest just to cut out the whole thing to start off. And then you can start cutting the details into it.
The whole square.
Yeah.
Not squares. I mean rectangles. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So if I cut that out first, then I can start cutting the shape. So I'll cut the outline first and then add in details afterwards, like the windows. So did anyone who didn't take part in the window trail, did anyone go and see it? Even if you didn't make one?
Where was it at?
It was on the street, wasn't it? All them different images on the
Right.
street.
Yeah, it was. There was some down down like Poulton Street, and then there were some kind of in other people's windows. People had made them in their homes. So we'd kind of listed on Facebook where they were, so people could go around and have a look.
Oh, that's what they were. I didn't know what they were.
Ah, okay.
There's one in the gift shop I saw.
Yeah, yeah. So some of them were made by schools, some of them were made by local artists, some of them were made by like other participants. So we had care homes get involved and make some as well. So we had kind of lots of different people making silhouettes for the windows.
Okay.
That's my first piece just cut out there. You can see kind of the mills.
That's good.
And what we're going to do is I'll just start cutting out my windows. So I've got my scalpel and my cutting board. Oh, what's that one? Let's have a look.
Well, it's a church, sort of.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Fantastic.
I've done that one.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
That
All the
one.
buildings.
Yeah, of course it is.
And what does it say on? I can't see what it says on the back of the cart.
It says Son Baker. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I've got it all out of a book I got it from this book from the library.
Oh, perfect. Brilliant.
So I just chose some of the pictures then, used them just to. They're supposed to be Poulton Street, that is.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You can tell it's Poulton Street, that one. That's brilliant. Got some good ideas going.
Joss.
Again.
Which one again? No, it's same as before. Same as before.
As I say, if anyone struggles, feel free to put it in the chat. You can direct message me if you don't want to put it in general chat. Feel free to direct message as well. Okay, so here I've just used a scalpel just to cut out a window. So if you do have a scalpel, yeah, just adding little details like windows and things. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Yeah, brilliant. It just gives you that kind of visual through. So works really well. So what we're going to be doing is in the first weekend of July, we're going to be holding an event. It'll be a socially distanced outdoor event, but we're hoping, if possible, to have a shop to display some of the artwork. But there's also going to be installations around the town and activities going on. So if anyone's free on the first weekend of July, there's going to be stuff going on in Kirkham anyway. So
Brilliant.
we'll be putting out advertising a bit closer to the time so everyone knows what's happening. It'd be fantastic if anyone is willing to show any of their pieces. If we do get a shop, it'd be lovely to show some of your pieces that you made, some of your tunnel books in the shop. We'd love to hold an exhibition and show some of your work if anyone's willing to exhibit their work for a couple of weeks or so in the shop, or we can put photos in. It'd just be lovely for everyone to be able to see it.
Which shop will it be?
We're not 100% sure yet. We're trying to get hold of one. So Helen, who's coordinating the project, is trying to find one of the empty shop units to use as an exhibition space, but it's just a matter of finding one that doesn't have major renovation work that needs doing on it. So we're still liaising with the council on that one. But if not, we'll probably hold smaller exhibitions in other shops within the high street, just to see if there's just to show some of the work, really. And we're going to have a lot of outdoor installations as well, so a lot of stuff's going to be outside.
I think our church has got a lot of pictures of the processions. Do you want those as well?
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Any pictures would be absolutely brilliant. It'd be lovely to be able to kind of have a display of images as well. Part of what I'm hoping to do is use images within the high street, so that people within some of the surrounding streets, so that as people walk down the street, they can see what it used to look like. So any photos that anyone's got, that's brilliant. Yeah. There is, on the Kirkham Treasures website, there is somewhere you can submit images if anyone's got any personally, or if it's through a church. Which church is it?
The Methodist Church.
The Methodist Church. Yeah, that'd be great if we're able to have, if you wouldn't mind sending me the details of who to contact for those, that'd be brilliant. Or if you've got access.
Okay. I'll speak to her tomorrow and ask her to contact you.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely brilliant. Thank you. And if anyone knows anyone with kind of personal memories of Kirkham as well, whether it be a relative that's owned a shop, or anyone who's taken part in the club days, we're always interested to hear people's like personal stories of Kirkham too. So we're going to be doing some recorded voices with people's memories. So if anyone knows anyone who'd be interested in being involved, then feel free to pass on my details. There we go. So I'm gonna keep that as my back piece. How's everyone getting on? Has everyone got designs?
I've done all mine. Yeah.
You've done all yours. Wow, you're speeding through that. Fantastic. That's brilliant. So it's up to you. You can either leave the pencil lines on there, or you can rub them off if you want it to be a white silhouette, or you could go in with more detail. If you're keeping the pencil lines, you can go in with extra details into it. Some people paint them as well, the tunnel books. So that's something, if you wanted to do it at a later point, you can paint them.
Is that a penguin?
Nikki, how are you getting on? You on mute? Ah, good, fantastic. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. You've got some good details in. Fantastic. Looking good.
Thank you.
Some first one.
Yeah, I've missed it about 50 times.
Jess, how's yours coming along?
It's all right. I've got one piece so far.
Is that the school?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of the front main bit of the building. And then
Oh,
I'm going to
great.
do the yard and some people in the yard and the fence.
Brilliant. Anne, how's yours going?
All right, thank you. I think not very artistic, I'm afraid, but I think I am on my fourth one. It's not going to be an artistic event, but I am doing some of it. Thank you.
That's okay. Fantastic. Irene, are you painting yours then?
Yes.
Ah, fantastic. I thought I spotted a paintbrush. Do you do lots of painting and artwork?
Yes. I used to be an infant teacher. So
Oh, okay. What kind of things do you like to paint?
flowers, scenes, all sorts.
Oh, sounds good.
It's only a hobby.
Yeah. Nice hobby though.
Some
I
of my
like
friends
painting.
come here to do it on my kitchen table.
Yeah, I prefer it when the weather's better and I can get outside and paint. I like to go and
Oh, yeah.
sit outside by a reservoir or something and paint.
Yes, that's nice.
I like doing buildings because I want to be an architect, so I always end up painting buildings.
Oh, are you at uni then doing architecture or something?
I've applied. I'm in my last year of sixth form, and then
Okay.
I've applied, but I'm going to defer a year, so I'll be going in 2022.
Yeah, probably makes sense at the minute. Yeah.
I think my brother's going this year. I've got a twin brother, but I've decided
To wait a year.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Have you always wanted to do architecture?
For quite a while, yeah. It's the only thing I've really wanted to do. I've not always known what I've wanted to do, but
That's good. Lots of people don't know what they want to do for a long time, so it can take people a whole lifetime to figure out what they want to do. So if you know, that's good. Are you doing art A-level then?
I started it, but I had to stop over the lockdown because I was taking 4 so I could drop 1, and I basically didn't have enough resources to do it at home, so I sort of fell a bit behind. Yeah, but I'd done it at GCSE, and most of the courses just needed a portfolio instead, so I decided to concentrate on that.
Yeah.
So then I'd have something to actually apply with.
Yeah. That's good. Do you have to do a foundation course, or are you going straight into it?
No, you can go straight into it. So, because they either because I did it at GCSE, so most of them want it at GCSE, and then a portfolio, so they can judge it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
I suppose architecture is a long degree without a foundation course, so that's yeah. Yeah, we did foundation before ours, so, but I think that was just so that all of us could decide what we wanted to do. So
That makes sense. Yeah, I think you can take a foundation year if sort of like if you can't do the more maths and bit of it, but all my other A levels are quite maths. Well, it's maths, further maths and physics, so I don't need to do that bit.
Yeah.
Was that off mute then?
Yeah.
For years. What? Who's busy?
Oh, they're looking good. Oh, I like your windmill.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, nice.
Cool.
Really good. Rachel, how are yours going?
I did a little Kirkham one, but I cut the wrong
that's
bits
good.
out. So I've had to redo it about 3 times because it's hard to get your head around which bit you're cutting out. I started cutting the letters out and I was like, no. Yeah, so, and then I've done a little mill and some hills as well.
Oh, brilliant. Looking good. Yeah, it can be quite fiddly. The amount of times I've chopped an arm off a person and things as well. When I'm making them. Chopped arms
Not
off,
in
chopped
real
legs
life.
off, branches off trees. Has anyone done any other Zoom workshops?
Yes,
What kind of
I've
workshops
done-
have you done?
I belong to the Embroiderers Guild, and we've done a workshop to make frogs and fish and flowers, all sorts of things
Oh,
from
that sounds
with
good.
our sewing machines. Beside the Zoom, it was quite difficult to do,
Yeah.
but
I suppose,
it
yeah,
was
that's
good.
quite tricky to show.
Yeah, but it was very good.
Mm. Have you got a wonderful piece of art then, made on your sewing machine?
Yes, well, it's not wonderful, but it's a frog anyway.
Yeah.
My mum does free motion stitching on a sewing machine, and she's done like this canvas of our house. That's her thing
that's
to do, is
great.
the stuff on the sewing machine.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
I'll
lovely.
show you my frog.
Yeah, if you've got it, that'd be fantastic. Love to see it.
Cut that bit out. Cut the little bit out, and that should frame at the front.
If you need to get a drink, love. We did that.
All of it.
Oh, that's beautiful. What
And
did
we
you
did,
stitch into?
We did that. It's all stitched on
That's
the sewing
beautiful.
machine.
It's
Very
absolutely
amazing.
beautiful. It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a very good, nice lady came and did it, showed us how to do it, and then we just did it alongside her.
Is that the first time you've done anything like that? Or have you been doing quite a bit of it?
Well, I haven't done it on the Zoom like that before, but yes, I've done a lot of things with the Embroiderers Guild.
Yeah.
We don't just embroider, we do burning and dyeing and all sorts of things.
Oh, that sounds
Really good. If anybody wants to join, they're welcome.
What is it?
It's the Embroiderers Guild, and there's one in Lytham and there's one in Preston.
All right. I can't sew. Do they teach you very basic skills as well?
Yeah, well, people are at all different levels. If you
Oh,
just
that's
enjoy doing it, come along.
Ah.
If you look on the if you go on the email, you'll just put in Lytham and Ansdell Embroiderers Guild.co.uk, and you'll get somebody who will help you if you want to join.
Oh, cool.
Sounds really good.
Full of knowledge, isn't it?
How's your painting going?
It's all right. It's very basic, actually. I've done that.
Oh, that's nice.
That's the windmill.
Oh, that's
You
really
can
cute.
recognise it as the
Oh, that's
horse and
pretty.
cart. They're really very simplified.
You're quick, aren't you?
That's lovely. I like the
I don't know.
brickwork that's in that.
I don't know if it'll work.
I'm sure it will. That's lovely. Are you using watercolours?
Yeah, yes. I don't want to make it too wet because it might not work.
Yeah, you don't want it to go too floppy. You can always use a hairdryer if you've got a hairdryer to hand. If they do get too wet, that's what I sometimes do. If I'm making something in a rush, I just quickly blast it with a hairdryer.
Oh, that's a good idea.
People hate it at school if you start using the hairdryer in the art rooms. It's like these nice,
Right.
peaceful rooms with pretty views, and this hairdryer starting up in the corner.
Yeah.
It's the only way to dry things quickly, though. So
Yeah, I mean, it works.
kind of
but
essential.
ruins the piece a wee bit.
It does, yeah.
No, I don't need to do that though.
Have you got a nice art room then?
The ones at school are dead nice, yeah, because I'm on a scholarship at Russell, so they look out over the beach.
Oh wow,
So they're quite nice over there.
that sounds good. Can't beat a good beach view.
Yeah, like everyone's projects are all painted on bits of driftwood because they always just go get them from the beach.
I suppose it's convenient, yeah.
You want to see the?
Okay, so what I'm going to do now, because I've cut all my pieces out, I'm just going to rub out any details, because I tend to do them with a completely white silhouette. But if you have finished, you can add details in, so you can go either way. You can add in details, like add in brickwork, add in like people's faces and clothes, or you can remove all details and have it as a pure silhouette. Tunnel books come in all shapes and styles. So the original ones, they used to paint them, but since then they've kind of developed, and there's so many different versions of tunnel books now that yeah, you can choose your own style. Nikki, how's yours going? Oh, that's lovely. That's really nice.
Oh.
So is that going to be one of the pieces further back, or is that closer to the front?
It might be at the back.
Okay, good. because you're going to need, otherwise if it was near the front, you'd need to remove some of the space around the outside so that you can see things behind it. Do you see? Otherwise you won't see the one behind it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, looking good.
Okay.
You got some really nice details in those. They're really graphic.
Thank you.
So, Alex,
Yeah.
Suzanne, I've got another meeting in about 7 minutes. So if you don't mind, in 7 minutes, I will just disappear.
That's absolutely fine. So just to go through, what you need to do next is you just put a little dab of glue on either side. So you've got a little dab on either side like that. And then you just place it on the next layer forward. So you should have your next layer.
Your back picture.
Yeah, so start with your picture at the back, your biggest, so the biggest image. If something's bigger than the rest, put that at the back. So here you can see I've just put the mill and it's on the last one like that.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just start working your way forward. If you have difficulty with glue, you can always use sellotape because you won't be able to see it when it's inside the zigzag. So you'll start building it up and you'll see there's kind of a gap between them. So there's one layer's gap between each of them. A bit like this.
Oh, it's really good.
Is it coming together?
Yes, it's amazingly good, what we've done.
It's amazing what you can create with a couple of bits of paper or cardboard and some scissors.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do, if you're wanting to try out any others, is you can use like photographs. So before I've done them, I've cut into photographs, obviously not precious ones like copies, and then layered the photographs so you can see through that. So that's kind of another thing you can play with if you want something else to have a go at some point.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Photographic tunnel books.
I've never heard of them before.
I've never.
It's a really kind of, it dates back to kind of Victorian period, and they started off, you know, there's a tunnel underneath London. There's a tunnel underneath the River Thames anyway, and what they wanted to do was kind of celebrate the opening of the tunnel. So what they did is they made a tunnel book, to show people what it looked like in the tunnel.
Wow.
And that's kind of where they originated from. I mean,
Oh,
possibly people had done them elsewhere at other times, but that's the first one that I'd heard about. Yeah, they've kind of taken off a little bit from there, but it's not something that many people know about. So that's my kind of 3D tunnel book there. And you can see it's over multiple layers.
yeah.
And then what you can do at the end is you can either leave it open, you can remove a layer and leave it open if you prefer, or you've got a frame piece of card. So you can cut out the bit with the cross hatching and then you've got your own frame, a bit like this one has a frame at the front. So you can create a frame for the front of your piece. How's yours going, Anne?
Sorry,
How's it going?
it's going all right, I think. I'm going to have to go in like 1 minute, but I've
That's
more,
absolutely fine.
you can see it, but I've more or less done it there. So it's not phenomenally artistic, but it's
It's lovely.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
really good.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you all very much. Bye bye. I shall have to leave you now. I'm sorry. I'll pick you up.
That's
Bye.
fine. Thank you for coming. Bye.
Thank you.
How's everyone else's going? Is everyone doing okay?
It's fiddly because I'm doing a little fence.
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that does look fiddly.
No, it's right. I've nearly finished now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. Good.
Mark and Rachel, how are you doing?
Okay, not bad. It's fiddly, isn't it?
Yeah, this bit is a bit fiddly.
Good though. It's nice to just like have the permission to do something like this, you know.
Yeah, it's good to try something different.
Yeah. Oh, it's cute how it comes together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the frame. So if you do want a frame, you can cut it thinner as well. So if you want a thinner frame, just cut the central box a little bit wider. So that's my frame I put on the front to make it a bit like this. But you can cut it thinner or you can leave it open if you prefer.
Oh, I don't like to stick very much.
Good way, pinching.
Yeah.
Pinching. Where's Kirkham gone? There it is.
I've got my pegs out of my peg bag to make it stick because it doesn't stick.
Yeah, some sellotape can help if you struggle with the glue. Or
Yeah, I'm going to peg it on.
yeah, just whilst it dries.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good. So if you can see here, I've got a little bit of an overhang with the front bit. The front bit's a little bit wider than the frame. You can just trim it down. So I'm just going to trim that down a little bit. So I'd cut my frame slightly thinner. So I've just got to trim the edge bit of the concertina just to neaten off the edges.
Oh, it's well cute. It's proper cute, this is.
There we go. So that's a finished one.
That's
Oh,
wicked,
they're
isn't it?
good, aren't they?
So we've got some layers
Oh,
there.
that's quite effective, isn't it?
Yeah, so you get kind of a 3D kind of effect. You've got people at the front and then stuff going on behind. If you find that some of your layers are blocking others, just try and remove a little bit of the cardboard